Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode here on Eat, Sleep, Brief. We're going to be doing a live vlogging style video for today. I also want to run down a new added piece of equipment that I do have on the tanks of fish, but we've added the Vitamini strips made by the same company as the lights I'm running, Illumagic. So these lights here are supplemental lights. They're pretty much run the blue and UV spectrum only. So they obviously will bring a lot more pop out of your corals, and it's a good addition, again, supplement light if you're looking to have essentially zero shading. A really nice feature I like about them as well, they come with these flexible mount, these rotatable, I wouldn't call them flexible, but you can see here you're able to rotate them any way you like to really essentially eliminate all forms of shadowing. So they're designed to be attached here to a rimless tank itself. You can see kind of how they slide in, and you can rotate them to essentially have no shading whatsoever. Generally in our reef tanks, you'll probably notice the corals, the bottom bases of the corals, they get sometimes discolored, and a lot of times it's because the lights are mounted directly on top and there's really no light form penetrating them in this direction. So with these mounts, you're able to see how you're able to offset that to direct the light to come like this, and as well in the back come like this to essentially eliminate any dead spots as far as light is concerned. So they're really cool. They make them in different sizes. These are the 24-inch. They have enough for, in other words, 2-foot tanks, 3-foot tanks, 4-foot, I think up to 6-foot tanks. They make these supplemental lights. Another really nice thing I like, for you guys out there that you don't want to go out and spend extra money on Illumagic lights, you can use these with any lights, whether Radions, Aqua Illumination, Kessel, any light you have out there. These could be supplemented. They also make custom mounts, not custom, but they make mounts that mount onto the Aqua Illuminations direct. So instead of being mounted here on the tank, they actually mount on top of the light, being the Aqua Illumination light. The 52s and the 64s. Sorry, the new 64s and the, what is it, the 26s? I forget the new number, the new numbers on them. I think they're the 36s. But anyways, they work on all of them except the primes, to sum it up. But yeah, you can kind of get an idea. You can see they're 100% full blue acrylic mount. So I've really been liking them. Again, this is just to try to eliminate as much dead spot as far as light's concerned. One thing to keep in mind, if you guys are adding these, be sure that they're very strong lights. They'll add about 100 to 150 par in the blue spectrum specifically. So you want to make sure you obviously decrease the overall intensity of whatever light you're running, even if not the Illumagic, whatever light you're running. If you're adding these, you want to decrease intensity of your main lights, because obviously these are adding quite a bit of light to the tank. As far as that, I've actually remounted the Neros from side to side. I'm just testing out flow. The way I have them set up now, this one will run for about 8 seconds this way, then this one runs for about 8 seconds this way. And what it does, it essentially makes alternating flow inside the tank. Something that actually has recently happened, you probably saw from the thumbnail, this is not a clickbait at all, but all the fish except for one, you can see them there, have perished. Started with the coal tang, and then from the coal tang went to the yellow tang. From the yellow tang went to the two clowns. From the two clowns it went to the Royal Grama, and it literally wiped out everything. So again, really sucks. And this is a part that I know a lot of you people are going to say, well, this is why you should be quarantining. And you know, to start off, I don't have room to quarantine. There's just no way I'm going to be able to set up a tank here, anywhere here in my apartment to even quarantine. So there's obviously other things you can do. Generally speaking, whenever I am adding fish, what I tend to do is I'll tend to have on hand garlic, vitamin boosting immune food, not food, but additives for food, vitamin C and so on, Celcon. I tend to have a lot of that stuff on hand to help the fish's immune system. And of course, I know a lot of you guys are saying that's not guaranteed, that's not going to work. It's been good for me in the past, that's what I've used, but this time around I didn't have any of that ready. So as soon as I started noticing issues, Luckily, the fishes kept eating, and I was just hoping for the best, but I knew I was going to have good luck not having those additives that I typically add to foods. Garlic being a very powerful one, not only in fish, even in human health, it helps immune. I know other animals, garlic also helps with their immune system. So yeah, I clearly didn't have that on hand, so I knew it wasn't going to be a good outcome. So yeah, guys, the sad part is everything was wiped out. Everything but that firefish. You can see him back there. I don't know if he's the one that started it, but it's kind of weird that he wasn't affected. I've heard from other reefers that firefish, where is he's back here? Firefish are pretty immune to a lot of stuff. They're very hardy fish. The only problem people have with them dying is they jump out if you don't have a lid. But it's the nature of the beast. It is what it is. It's sad. A really cool but not that cool thing is that urchin you can see back there. He actually ate both clowns, so I kind of let Mother Nature do her thing. The big fish, I took him out, flushed him down the toilet, but the clowns, I let them in there, and I let the urchin and the crabs eat them, because I know, there's not a lot of food in here for them, so I figured let Mother Nature do what she does best, and yeah, it's crazy how quick they demolished them. So what are the plans moving forward? Am I going to quarantine? And again, there's going to be no quarantining done. The good thing, and what I can recommend for you guys out there is if you're going to be buying fish and you can't quarantine like myself, one, get additives that you can add to the food to boost the immune system. Number two, get them from sources. There's a lot of sources now online, guys, that sell quarantined fish. Even a lot of local fish stores that I know for a fact sell quarantined fish. That'll obviously help you out a lot. But yeah, personally, the food additives have helped me in the past. Of course, you're going to have 1-2 die here and there, but that's kind of my plan coming straight forward. I'm probably not going to add any fish for a while. As you guys know, the main reason I'm in the hobby is for these beautiful corals, and that's what really I enjoy the most. So I'm not too worried that I'm not going to have too many fish at the beginning. Another good thing to add, and actually one I'm considering, is a UV sterilizer. So I saw this UV sterilizer on Amazon, and it's kind of a UV sterilizer I wouldn't leave in the tank 24/7, but certainly something I'd recommend if you are, anytime you're adding new livestock, it'd be a good thing to run. And I know, again, you guys are going to say, well, this is not a good deterrent or a good pest control, and yes, I agree, but it will, and I think we can all agree, UV sterilizers won't eliminate pests, but it'll kill them so they aren't able to reproduce anymore. Obviously not eliminating them, but certainly dropping the numbers. So between you feeding those really good additives and lowering the number of the pests that end up killing the fish, I think you're going to have a better shot. So it's just going to be what I'm going to be doing, and we're just going to kind of take it from there. As far as the corals are doing really good. I got quite a few sticks in here. Got some softies, some euphilia, some zoas, some a little bit of everything. Everything's doing really good. Some shrooms. I've been really happy with it. I've actually started dosing the Triton method. You can see the bottles there. So I've been dosing 3. Here, let me show you guys the bottom of the sump. I've been dosing 3. Oh look, oh shoot, that door almost fell. Oh, another thing I want to show you guys. Good thing I came down here. So I'm dosing 3 milliliters. Let me turn on the white on this light. Okay, so I'm dosing 3 milliliters a day through the 2.1 doser. So you can see that's dosing part 3A. This one's dosing 3B. That one's dosing 1. That one's dosing 2. So the way the Triton method works, all of the supplements are dosed in equal values. So if you're dosing 1 milliliter, you would do 1 milliliter for all 4. You can see they're coming into here. Got my lines running through there. And obviously did the RO conversion on these power heads so I can hook up RO lines and RO tubing to it. But another thing, guys, I'm not surprised. I kind of was expecting it. But Triton method makes 2 different versions of supplement. They make one if you're using a dedicated sump like they recommend with the refugium in the first chamber, and they make one, I forget the exact name for it. It's called I honestly forget the exact name, but they make 2 versions of it. Again, I'm running the version that they recommend, which is The return, no mechanical filtration, and the refugium in the first chamber. Second chamber, we got the skimmer, and last chamber, we got the return. But ever since I started dosing Triton, this thing has at least doubled in size. It was ridiculous. I noticed it after the third day. This thing was just blowing up in size, and I mean, you can see for yourself here. And the reason for that is because if you go with the actual Triton method, the way they recommend it, it's meant to increase growth on chaeto, or macroalgae for that matter. So it has iron, it has stuff to also supplement the chaeto so it keeps growing, thus keeps consuming the nutrients out of the water. And believe it or not, between this and this Dilua, I've had no nutrient issues whatsoever. So it's been pretty cool to watch it. It was very cool to see that the Triton is also helping the chaeto grow. It's just amazing to have a full ecosystem ready to go. Another recommendation I want to make for you guys that have a sump, you know, we all try our best to keep our tanks really nice and clean, and I can't share with you guys enough the importance of keeping your sump as well just as clean. You know, if you let nuisance algae take hold of the walls, it obviously is going to be competing with the chaeto, not giving the chaeto the best fight to take out the nutrients. So I highly recommend you guys get in your sumps and clean them as often as possible. This one here I clean roughly about once a week to once every 2 weeks. You can see here it's a little bit dirty, but nothing crazy. And it's just a recommendation I make because, again, having a clean sump, a lot of people say, well, I only care about the tank, the sump I don't care about. But you have to realize the detritus and the gunk that gets here on the bottom, guess where it's going to end up eventually? In the tank. So that's why I can't stress out the importance of keeping a very clean sump. So I think that's it with the ramble, guys. Yeah, it's been a very heavy week, and I just feel like being honest with you guys, sharing my successes as well as sharing my failures is an important part, and what I owe to you guys, because this is how you learn, this is how you better your methods, or you see other methods, because I'm sure there's a lot of people like me that say, I can't quarantine either, so what are my options? And yeah, just buy from places that do quarantine, get a removable UV sterilizer like I showed earlier, feed good supplements as far as additives in food, such as garlic, vitamin C's, there's tons of other vitamins. Feed obviously good food, and that's about all you can do, guys. That's about it. So I'm gonna leave this video here, guys. Hopefully I didn't ramble too long. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the little update. I really love the shimmer on these lights. You can really see like a blue. It's hard to see on camera. To me, it looks a little bit bluer in person because I got the polyblab filter on. But yeah, really cool. So we're gonna wrap it up, guys. That's gonna be it for this week's update. Of course, we're gonna be moving forward. We gotta keep pushing forward. Right now, the goal is to get these acros here to start coloring up, to really get them dialed in with the Triton. Make sure the Triton's dialed in, make sure we're maintaining the right levels. And one thing that's been making that so easy is the KHD. So this tests the alkalinity every single day, so it allows me to know if I need to adjust the dosage on the Triton. I mean, this thing's been a huge lifesaver, the GHL KHD director. But yeah, so that's the goal. We're gonna be moving forward. We're gonna fine tune the Triton, make sure we start coloring up these sticks. Once we see encrusting on the sticks, I'm gonna feel more comfortable adding bigger colonies. And that's gonna be it, guys, for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please, 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 if you haven't subscribed and I earned your subscription, be sure to subscribe. Also, leave me a like down below on the video. That helps out a lot. I'd love to hear your thoughts and your methods on how you add fish. Do you quarantine? I'd love to see the ratio down below. Leave it in the comments to see how many people actually quarantine. And for you out there that are like me, that don't quarantine, what are your methods to introducing fish and try to keep pests down to a minimum? More importantly, try to keep them down to where they don't obviously kill all your fish like happened today to me. So that's gonna be it, guys. Leave that comment below. I love to read them all the time. I try to reply to as many as I can, and I'd love to see what the ratios are for people that actually quarantine. Thank you guys very much for joining in on this week's episode. As always, happy reefing.